Okay, so this is in response to a Twitter exchange that I've had in response to an article that Kathy Young wrote that referenced me, which is, the reference is sort of irrelevant. It was, the article that I wrote was a satirical, gender-reversed look at the sexually useless men trope that you see in a lot of women's magazines. In other words, that men are incapable of giving women sexual pleasure, or don't do it sufficiently, or they're useless sexually. And you see that constantly. You can see that sort of drone of men not being sexually desirable constantly, or sexually useless constantly in women's literature and magazines and shit. So I did a gender reversal article, and then I included some sort of a mockery of enthusiastic consent laws. And essentially I said we should embrace enthusiastic consent laws because they would improve the sexual marketplace for men, because they would now no longer have to deal with women who are so sexually passive you might as well be having sex with a bowl of gruel. And that was intended to be satirical. Satirical both of the enthusiastic consent standard and also satirical of those useless, sexually useless men articles that I see constantly. And in this Twitter exchange, I said, this is satire. This was satire. And then someone said, oh, all of you men's rights activists, that's your go-to defense when you get blamed for being misogynist. And then it occurred to me, when I think about all of the articles that people go to assert that we are misogynists, they are all indeed satire. And sometimes they are like almost complete gender reversals. Like we just take an article and we just change the genders, and then we get pinned that when we do that we're misogynists, we're horrible misogynists. Maybe it's because our entire community does that constantly. We're saying, you don't see the misandry here. Well, let us change the genders. And then suddenly, because we've changed the genders, everything else is kept the same. We are misogynists. And then we get these gender flipped examples where we're trying to show you the misandry. And then you take them and you say, look at them, they're misogynists. And maybe we're not. Maybe we're just a bunch of not horrible people. We're just trying to show you the misandry, or they're trying to show you the misandry by gender flipping it. And it is all satire. Because I'm thinking of Bash a Violent Bitch Month. That was satire. And nobody seems to get it. And then there was other satirical pieces that Paul have done. There's other satirical pieces that I have done. And nobody, they just look at it and they say, look at, you're horrible misogynists. Maybe the entire community isn't a bunch of horrible misogynists. Maybe it is all satire because it is all satire.